How you doing, guys? Big Mac Down School here today, back with another video for you. Yeah, this is my February roundup, which is very delayed. It's halfway through March as I record this, and it occurred to me like last week that I've not done the roundup for February yet. Part of the reason is I think I was a bit down about how little I painted in February. So, without further ado, let's crack on with it. First off the bat is a solitary Legion Heavy Support Marine from 1000 Suns. Now this is a miniature from my burning of... No, this is a miniature from an eBay purchase actually. I wanted some more 1000 Sun minis and Space Wolf minis, so I could use them in the board games for Burn of Prospero board game and the Betrayal at Calth board game, and then essentially use the other minis just in like a 1000 Sun army, a proper heresy army. And yeah, the solo guy there is the first miniature I painted in February. Now the next 5 miniatures I painted in February were the Kennetai Blade Occult. I did have an issue with one of the blades on the Kennetai Blade Occult, one of the miniatures, where the paint had chipped off. Now I've never had that with Forge World resin before, but I know they use mold release, so it's probably just a little bit of mold release that I missed. Either that or I wasn't really transporting them properly when I was taking them to work to paint on my brakes and stuff. So it might just be a case that they've just rubbed up against each other. But yeah, I fixed that before the final photos, and the spinny bid, as you can see, they're all in tip-top condition now. So I'll need to magnetise these to make sure I'm transporting them correctly, using my really useful boxes. Either that or just transport them in foam, the traditional method of transporting miniatures. I say traditional for people of a modern generation, at least. A modern generation? Like the last 20 to 30 years. And then next on the table was seven Blackstone Fortress miniatures. These are Traitor Guard miniatures from the Blackstone Fortress range. I painted these ones with red helmets. My other ones had green helmets and like the odd red armor panel thrown in. Not really armor panel, armor plate, I suppose. Yeah, the odd red armor plate thrown in, just to differentiate them from the other Traitor Guard that I painted a couple of years ago for my previous Hobby 365 challenge. And that makes 13. That makes 13 miniatures for the month of February. And then finally, the last 2 miniatures I painted in February were these 2 Primaris Intercessors. They complete a squad of 3 Inceptors, sorry, not Intercessors. They complete a squad of 3 Inceptors that, again, I painted the first one of a couple of years ago for my previous 365. And these were miniatures that I picked up with Conquest magazine, I believe. Either that or the release of 7th edition, potentially. Yeah, so that's what I painted this month. There's not been an awful lot. I was hoping to paint 2 miniatures per day in the month of February, so 56 for the month. However, it didn't work out like that. I ended up painting just over half a miniature a day, basically. I say half a miniature, it's more like 0.75 of a miniature per day, and that was simply because basically I was working on 15 miniatures, so I would have painted 30 for the month of February had I finished these miniatures in time. But you'll see them in next month's roundup. And you'll be pleased to know that as I record this on the 16th of March, I have actually fully caught up now with my 365 challenge. And I will be, I think, 2 days ahead. I'll be 2 days ahead, provided I finish 2 wall sections, 2 sections of terrain that I'm working on today. So I'll be 2 days ahead. Yeah. Anyway, look out for next month's hobby roundup. I've used some really simple paint jobs to catch up, and that's essentially what I did in my previous 365, where I painted a lot of Zombicide miniatures and stuff like that. So I give them really basic paint jobs in order to catch up and get ahead and that kind of thing. And I'll be doing that with terrain on this occasion rather than board game miniatures. Although, to be fair, some of the miniatures I painted this month, besides terrain, the actual miniatures, some of them do have a bit of a basic paint job on them, but I'll explain why in next month's hobby roundup, where hopefully by the end of the month I'll have painted at least 45 miniatures. But we'll see. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the battlefield.